What happened overnight in Venezuela wasn't presented as a traditional military operation, but as a statement. According to U.S. officials, a single coordinated action was enough to reshape the political reality of an entire country, without a prolonged conflict and without public warning. But the real story isn't just what was announced, it's what can actually be verified. Because as videos began circulating, satellite images surfaced, and official statements followed one another rapidly, a gap opened between confirmed facts and unverified claims. And that gap is where this story truly begins. According to statements from Washington, an operation referred to as Operation Absolute Resolve began in the early morning hours local time in Venezuela. President Donald Trump stated that the final authorization was given just hours earlier, following months of planning that had reportedly remained confidential. Shortly afterward, reports emerged describing coordinated U.S. military activity across several strategically significant locations. It's important to clarify from the start. These details are based primarily on official U.S. statements, while independent confirmations were limited during the initial phase. And that distinction matters. Several international media organizations report using verified video footage, metadata, and satellite imagery to confirm activity at multiple sites. According to these analyses, incidents were observed near the Fort Tiuna military complex in Caracas, La Guaira Port, La Carlota Air Base, and other key infrastructure locations. What these sources confirm is where and when activity occurred, not necessarily the full intent or outcome of the operation. In other words, visuals provide context, but not conclusions. And what's missing from those images may be just as important as what appears in them. The most widely discussed statement came from President Trump, who said that Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro had been detained and removed from the country by U.S. forces. According to U.S. officials, Maduro was located during the operation, detained by American personnel, and transferred out of Venezuela. An image later shared publicly was said to show Maduro aboard a U.S. military vessel. However, and this is critical for responsible reporting, there was no immediate independent confirmation from Venezuelan authorities or international organizations at the time. As a result, major outlets used careful language such as, according to U.S. officials, Trump claimed, has not been independently verified. That distinction is not technical. It's essential. Residents in Caracas and surrounding areas described unusual overnight activity. These accounts were anonymous, fragmented, and emotionally charged, but none alone confirmed the broader strategic narrative. What open-source reporting suggests is that military infrastructure sustained, damaged communication systems were disrupted, information flow was temporarily restricted. What remains unclear? The full operational scope, command responsibility, and long-term regional impact, and it's within that uncertainty that the story continues to evolve. Regardless of how individual claims are ultimately confirmed or disputed, this event signals a shift. If the official account proves accurate, it represents a major precedent. If not, it highlights the power of information itself as a strategic tool. Either way, the consequences extend beyond military considerations into international diplomacy, global legal norms, and geopolitical stability. And that's why this story doesn't end with one night. What happened in Venezuela may one day be labeled a turning point. For now, it stands as a case study in how information, imagery, and authority collide in real time. The next question isn't only what happened, but how the world responds when claims, visuals, and facts don't fully align. In the next video, we'll explore a critical follow-up: what international law actually says about operations like this, and where the unspoken boundaries may lie. Stay with the channel for that deeper analysis.